वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
Good morning. Guten Morgen. Bonjour. So today onwards we shall chant the prayer together. Okay. Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityo Mrityungamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So Sunday class timing has changed. So morning means you're fresh. You'll be able to absorb better your lessons. So please see page number 33 if you have a prayer book with you. Each thought is a little hammer blow on the lump of iron which our bodies are, manufacturing out of it what we want it to be. We are heirs to all the good thoughts of the universe if we open ourselves to them. Mind and thought. What is mind? Do you have any definition for mind? Any time did you try to define it? So philosophy here in this culture, Indian philosophy just revolves around that. An attempt to define the mind and to help the individual to control it, to master it, and to transcend it ultimately. When you transcend it, you will discover the absolute beauty, which is called consciousness, freedom, mukti, liberation. There are many names for it, that state. Every day we touch the frontier of the infinite when we go to sleep. In deep sleep state, which is called sushupti in Sanskrit, where you don't exist as a physical body, you don't exist as the mind, the external universe disappears for you. You just touch the frontier of the infinite. And again you wake up. First comes the I, then comes the mind, then comes the universe. Again, when you go to sleep, the universe is withdrawn, the mind is withdrawn, the I is also almost withdrawn, it becomes quiescent. So you touch the frontier of the infinite. So every day you are switching between the finite and the infinite. like a pendulum that oscillates on the two sides. But that deep sleep state, if you can have in wakeful state also, then you are an enlightened human being. Why we respect people like Ramana Maharshi, Buddha, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda. Spiritually illumined souls, we call them. That deep sleep awareness, the deep sleep experience, which we get in ignorance. Deep sleep experience happens in ignorance. It is not in our control. We just slip into that. But that experience, they have all the 24 hours. And that's the reason they're illumined. That means they're always away from body and mind. You have the body and mind as two instruments. Just as I have this book in my hand, they'll have the body and mind in their hands. And whenever what they want, they can use it. When they don't want, they can just set it aside. Their existence doesn't depend upon the physical body or the psychological body, namely the mind. So once you transcend these two, it is infinite. Where that what is finite, what is three-dimensional is limited. Mind is also finite because it is certain sphere, a bundle of thoughts. One definition that we can give for the mind is bundle of thoughts. It has positive and negative thoughts. When the mind is full of positive thoughts, we experience the joy. The experience of life will be a little better. Positivity we talk about. When the mind is full of negative thoughts, we feel weak. And if it goes into further negative stage, it's called depression. So many other schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. There are so many exotic names for psychological sicknesses today. All the basically inability of the individual to handle his own thought. Even in the secular life, in the mundane life, our success depends to a large extent on this. How far you can cultivate this positive thought, strength-giving thought. The greater the percentage of the positive thought that you have in the mind, the easier it is for you to become successful in this life. A man with a negative state cannot really achieve great success in this life. So one of the definitions that our rishis give for mind is a bundle of thoughts. It has positive and negative thoughts. We can nurture the thought by reading good books. We can cultivate good thoughts. When there is a love in the heart, there will be positive thought in the mind. So parallelly, you have to nurture your feeling as well. So there is a hatred in the heart. Feeling is negative. You can't have positive thought there. Both go together. So can we enhance the quantum of love that we have, feeling of love that we have in our heart? Definitely. Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, he would consider everybody, her son, her daughter. Now we have, for example, that Mata Amritanamai. You might have heard that Mata Amritanamai Mutt. She is running very good, very big education institutions and hospitals. 7th class pass woman. She doesn't know any language other than Malayalam. But she is moving the world. One woman. How powerful she could become, you just see. Because her heart was full of love. When I joined, I think in 97 or 98 here in this Matta, she came to the next function hall, Pingal Venkataramaredi function hall. She sat almost for 22 hours hugging people and says that, Amakutti. Only one word she says, Amakutti. She whispers that word in everybody's ear. And she hugs men, women, children, everybody, old, young. That much of love. Her heart has become so big and she is able to embrace the whole world. Whole world is my family, all are my children. The world is 7.5 billion people. She thinks that all the 7.5 billion people are her children. So that much expansion is possible. For every one of us is possible. But we don't consciously cultivate it. That's the only thing. If you consciously cultivate it, the feeling you can nurture to such an extent that world becomes too small for you. And when there is more love in the heart, you will have positive thought. When you have more positive thought, there will be greater concentration. When you have more concentration, acquiring skills, learning languages, greater efficiency will come in our work also. So it's important that you know the way to cultivate the mind. Mind and heart are connected. When the feeling is positive, when there is love, when there is kindness, when there is compassion in the heart, there will be positive thought and your human efficiency will go up. Another definition that we can give for the mind is past and the future. You just remove these two from the mind, you are in the present. You transcend the mind. You just see what is mind either is brooding over the dead past or thinking about the unborn future. Basically, it does only two things. So unborn future, it imagines so much. Because the faculty of imagination that God has gifted us, most of the times people use it in a negative way against themselves. You can imagine positively also. But for various reasons. If there is negative thought, fear comes because basically you could not check your imagination, that's all. And not in a position to check your own imagination. Most of the times we fear things which don't happen at all in our lives. We imagine, because the faculty of imagination is going in a wrong way. So mind is nothing but past and future. If you forget about the dead past, and if you could forget the unborn future, then you are focused to the present, then your work efficiency will improve. You'll be able to achieve great success in life. Another definition that you can give for mind is based on I thought or ego sense. Ego sense. So there is difference among human beings, quality of the I. Some of the people are very humble and at the same time very confident. Some are very, what you call arrogant. You say, you can't bear that individual. Why? Because he has an inflexible, that ego or ahankara, which you call. So there are very people very, very flexible. They can adapt and adjust with any human being. Such human beings we love. There are people who are very rigid and very brittle. Their ego is. So we can't bear with them. That means there's qualitative difference between the aham, that individuality of one individual and another individual. That also we can nurture it. The greater the flexibility that you have, your personality. Otherwise, you're just an individual. You have to work in a team, then you need to be a person actually. Person means actually who can get along with other people because you have flexible, that individuality. You are very rigid and for others it becomes very difficult to walk with you. So these are some of the definitions that our people give for the mind. The greater the control that you get over your mind, the greater are your chances of success in this world. So India's spirituality is nothing about it, revolves around this mystery called the mind. Everything else that in this universe actually we have created, whatever we have invented or what we have innovated, we have done with the help of this mind. Whose creation is this mind? Who has designed it? Who is the architect of the mind? Who? We have not done it. We have got it. It has become a source of trouble for others. Who is that? Who is that entity? Mind is not our making. It's not our design. Using that, actually, you're designing so many things. That's a different thing. But mind as such is not our creation. It's God's creation. Consciousness creation. Daivi hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya ameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarandite, says the Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. This mind is my maya. It's my creation. And mameva ye prapadyante, whoever proposes me, whoever surrenders to me, they will be able to control it and conquer it. Thank you. Nice day, Amma.